Listeners beware. There's no turning back now. You've entered the Horror Apocalypse Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Horror Apocalypse Podcast. We've got a couple of people watching us on our first ever live Instagram feed. Today we will be talking about Seed of Chucky. This was a Patreon pick from Straight Chillin' Podcast. So if you guys haven't listened to them yet, if you're listening to us, you had to have listened to Straight Chillin' Podcast. They're far more superior than we are. But they picked this via Patreon for us to review, and I believe, now that I've seen the movie again, that it was payback for our picking Curse of the Screaming Dead for them. So I see a long battle going back and forth between the two of us here, back and forth. But we'll get to that in a moment on our thoughts on Seed of Chucky. Let's go over some of our usual stuff. Chris, what's been your side quest this past week?
My side quest? Aside from a lot of work, I haven't really had much of a time for a side quest. Excuse me. I watched The Seed of Chucky. That was pretty much my side quest. That was it. I don't think I've seen anything else horror related this week.
I can barely hear you on my end.
Is it through the microphone?
What's that?
Through the microphone, you can barely hear me?
It actually sounds like on the phone end anyway. It sounds like you're muffled.
Yep. Hang on. Is that better?
A little better.
There you go.
All right, so all you watched was Seed of Chucky?
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't remember seeing anything else. I did see the trailer that we talked about very, very briefly for Chris Rock's new Saw movie, which looks very interesting.
No.
So,
No.
What? What do
No,
you mean,
it was not.
I don't know. What
No.
do you mean, no? What do you mean,
I caught it, speaking of Straight Chillin' Podcast, I caught it because Bob over at Straight Chillin' shared it on his page, and I completely forgot that it was coming out, so I checked out the trailer for that, and holy shit, no. Nope.
What is your problem with it?
No.
What is your problem? Why?
Did you not see it? Did you watch
the
the same
trailer?
trailer I watched?
I more than likely I saw it when I went to go see Harley Quinn the other night. I actually saw it in the theater. So,
Yeah, when I first started, the trailer starts rolling, I thought it was like The Other Guys Part 2. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it actually turns out.
No.
You know, who knows how
I
it
don't.
ties into anything.
First of all, Saw hasn't been good since like Saw 1. We've gotten a shitload of dog shit sequels. I can't stand any of them. And now we're going to go off a spin-off on it, and now we're going to do the Book of Saw?
Why not? Why not? Seriously,
Is
why
this
not?
picking up my Twitch?
No, I see the Twitch. I do. My whole point to this is they got money. It has a following. Why not? Why not do it? I mean,
Because they have
watch
money.
it. We don't. Yeah, exactly. They have money. I mean, we don't have to watch it. We don't have to enjoy it. Some people will.
No. Anyway, that's more for our news side.
Sure.
Let me see. What have I watched? While I watched Seed of Chucky. Not really horror this past week. I got into watching Enterprise again. I caught a couple of episodes when it first came out, and I was not a fan. But after watching Picard, it kind of renewed my interest in Star Trek. I started buying up all the movies again and going back and watching the TV series, and I figured I'm going to give Enterprise a shot. Let's see how this goes. Save some continuity errors. It's been pretty decent. I actually really enjoy it.
I thought it was a fun show. There are several episodes of that series that I think when we were talking about it, I was like, wait till you get to the last episode. The last episode to me was the friggin' best episode they did. The very last episode. They do have a Borg episode though in one of the seasons. I think it's like the second to last season or the last season, which actually ties into First Contact, which was really cool. But it was overall. I mean, Bakula was really good. You're right about Trip, by the way. You're 1,000% right. I never really noticed it until you said it, but his accent does come and go. You're absolutely right. Yeah. But it was good. I liked it.
All right, so not much in the wake of what we've been watching, really. Any news you want to talk about?
Any news I want to talk about? I don't think anything's really gone on this week.
No. Well,
nothing I noticed.
I'm glad to report that it looks like New Mutants is back on. It will be coming out.
Oh, yeah. I did see the trailer for that when I saw Quinn.
In the same vein as Marvel Horror, Sam Raimi, I guess, has been tagged to do Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of excited about that because Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters anyway. Now Sam Raimi is tagged on to do that, so I'm liking what's happening here.
As long as there's no disco scene, I think it'll be fine.
I can't wait to see who Ted Raimi plays in Doctor Strange 2.
Or Bruce Campbell.
Or Bruce Campbell, exactly. All right, so we're going to go through that pretty quickly, and let's just get right into talking about this shit show so we can get this over with and move on. I've already got our next movie picked out, by the way.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited for our next show. But coming to us, or bringing us this episode today, as I mentioned before, is Straight Chillin' Podcast. They contributed to us over on Patreon and picked out for us to watch Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky is a 2004 horror movie in the same story arc as Child's Play. And that's pretty much about where the similarity ends.
First of all, you said horror movie. I'm still waiting for it to be a horror movie. It hasn't happened yet.
I thought this was as much of a horror movie as Scary Movie is.
Kinda, yeah, kinda. This was 1,000% comedy, and even the kills were like kind of funny. It was like there was nothing that makes you jump. There was nothing that scares you.
Yeah, before you came back, I made a joke about my favorite scene was when they killed Britney Spears. I mean, that was very comical. You know,
for 2004, that made complete sense. Wasn't there another movie, horror movie, kind of horror movie that had something similar to that, where they killed like a pop star? It sounds very familiar to me.
Right around that time, there was a lot of that was a big comedy of, killing. If you hear a zipper, that's something else. It's not my pants.
Sure.
That was the big thing, was to get rid of these pop stars.
Didn't see that coming.
No, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going to need to plug this into. I just don't want to pick up anything on our mics here for the final.
Do yourself
editing.
a favor. Make sure there's no microphone on that headset, or it'll.
Okay.
Just saying. I had to go when I was searching for my headset. I had to make sure I found one with no microphone on it.
Why?
Just in case it started picking it back up and feeding it back through.
Well, I'll just mute the mic. I can do that.
Okay then. Fantastic.
All right. Anyway, back on track. Don Mancini was once again the what the fuck happened to him? He did the original Child's Play, which was fantastic. I mean, there's a great story arc. Brad Dourif, it was fantastic. Then we get more and more and more into this, and then we end up with Seed of.
Which, by the way, when I was reading, he had something to do with a good chunk of these movies. Like all of them. His name appears in either a screenplay or writer role or producer role or something like that. I have a feeling that somebody paid him a lot of money. Hey, cool fan. Is that your one fan? Oh, that was horrible. I feel horrible for even saying that. I feel like somebody paid him a lot of money to do this. He even had something to do with the reboot.
No, Bob, I love you. Love you like a brother, man. but no. Okay, remember when Justin talked about us and said that over here at Horrorpocalypse, when we get our fans and we throw them on, we just tell it how it is. Fuck you for picking this movie. Okay, let's just wipe the slate clean. It was a good, fun movie. It was a fun
let me
movie.
stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. Take that word out.
Yeah.
Take that.
What
word
would
out.
you call it? You didn't think it was fun at all?
No, I was talking about good. Take the word good out. You can say fun, but you can't say good. Okay, you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. The effects on Chucky and the effects on Tiffany and on Glinda, whatever we're calling it, was pretty good. I mean, even 2004. I mean, the puppet effects were pretty good. I'll give them credit for that. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm stopping.
The puppet effects were good, yes.
Yep.
There were a lot of other things that I thought were good, though.
All right, shoot.
Did you not enjoy the what do you call it? Sorry, I'm trying to work on my volume here. The scenes with Chucky masturbating?
Personally enjoy them. I mean, it turned me
no,
on
of course
a
not
little
personally.
Bit, but
oh, Jesus Christ!
What? I'm sorry. He's a doll. A doll. It was inventive. I mean, whoever.
I laughed my ass off.
I don't know if I was laughing. I remember I went, "Oh dear God."
I laughed my ass off.
The exact phrase.
John Waters outside, taping it, his commentary to it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was great.
Where else do I know that guy from? Because watching that movie, and I'm staring at him, going, "I know him from other things." I just can't think of what it is I know him from. And
John Waters is very popular. He's done a lot of movies. Let me see. He did. What were some of his big ones here? Hairspray.
Okay.
He produced. Let me see.
The thin mustache is what got me when I saw him. I was like, "Oh my God, this is like a 1920s reporter look."
Mm-hmm. Let me see. He did actor-wise. He was in Hag in a Black Leather Jacket, Roman Candles, Eat Your Makeup, Pink Flamingos. You ever see that one?
That sounds familiar. Out of all the ones you just labeled, that sound or named off, that's the one that sounds familiar.
Hairspray, Homer and Eddie, Sweet and Lowdown, Blood Feast 2, Hairspray, Junior Defenders, Land of the Merry Misfits, Dolls and Murder.
You said a Hairspray 3 times. Is there any reason why?
Well, he was the writer and an actor in that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me see what else he's done. He was in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Who did he play in Alvin and the Chipmunks?
He was an airplane passenger. Mostly background stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he's also a director, producer. He's done a lot of stuff.
That's why when I saw his face and the name, I was like, that guy does look familiar. But...
Mm-hmm. No, he's very, very familiar with that. But let's see. Let's take a rundown here. The basic plot of this is we're led to believe that Chucky and Tiffany had a baby.
Which, didn't they have it at the end of Bride of Chucky? If I remember right. Which is why when we're introduced to this baby in this movie, it's already grown up.
Well, this is, I guess, supposed to take place 6 years after the previous one.
Did it say 6 years later?
Well, I guess, chronologically, it says 6 years after the previous film, Glenn, the benevolent son of Chucky and Tiffany.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, I don't understand how that's even feasible.
What, two dolls having a baby? Or
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you go by what Tiffany said in the movie, voodoo. That's the only answer you need. Voodoo. That's it.
And I guess I'm kind of thinking of, well, they don't have internal organs. But in this movie, when they take the back off of Tiffany and she has a spine and blood and things like that,
yep.
Maybe they do.
If you remember right, and I think it was, oh God, I want to say Child's Play 2, when we watched that during 31 days of sequels, when he's inside the body, when he was inside it, it was starting to become alive. It was starting to become flesh and blood, or excuse me, blood and organs, not necessarily flesh. But when they killed him in that movie, it was like blood everywhere type of thing. So I think when the soul's inside the body, it has internal organs and blood and a brain and stuff like that. Again, voodoo. Voodoo.
No. If you're not seeing us, I'm shaking my head no.
No, I see it. I see it.
I meant for the other people that are going to be listening.
The
no.
other two?
The other two people?
The other two? Okay. Give me another reason then. If it wasn't the quote-unquote voodoo, then, which is a very cheap writing trick, by the way, just to go, voodoo did it. Yeah, it's all voodoo.
Exactly. That's the biggest problem I'm having is that there's no need for an explanation when you can sit there and say, "Oh, voodoo."
Yeah, that is their explanation. Hey, man, I didn't write it. Don't blame me.
Hey, why did this movie suck so bad? Voodoo.
Voodoo. Yeah, that's why it sucked. Actually, it's not. Voodoo wasn't the reason why it sucked. It had lots of other reasons why it sucked. So
Why isn't when Chucky's dismembered and he's bled out everywhere? Why didn't he die? Voodoo.
Voodoo. Voodoo.
Is he now a zombie Chucky? That's voodoo.
That is voodoo. It counts.
Oh my God, zombie Chucky. Copyright Horror Apocalypse 2020.
Wait. Can you copyright a copyright? I don't think you can do that. Isn't Chucky already a copyrighted character?
Zombie Killer Doll.
There you
Copyright.
go. There you go. Copyright. Horror Apocalypse.
Copyright Horror Apocalypse 2020. January 2020. February. No, this is
February 8th.
Shit, so there's
Yeah,
still a
February
chance that they can get something in before us. All right, anyway. Going on with this, we find the only reason Glenn thinks that he is son of Chuck and Tiff is, I'm going to call him Chuck and Tiff, Chuck is waving his hand and he sees Made in China, and Glenn has the exact same stamp on his wrist. So, he must be them. He immediately leaves Burt Wonderstone there. What was that guy's name?
Burt Wonderstone. That's a great name for him. I think it said Psycho. I think that was his name. It was Psycho and Shithead, or Psych and Shithead. One of the two.
Yeah, Psych and Shithead. That makes sense. So Psych, who's played by Keith Lee Castle, which I don't like him at all.
Wow, you actually went the extra mile to get his name? I didn't even bother.
And Psych's real first name was Bill, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Bill Sykes is his real last name, Sykes, is using Glenn, I guess, to make this ventriloquist tour, and for some reason he's using this live doll and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Glenn sees...
Oh, never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. Glenn sees Chuck and Tiff on TV and decides he's going to go to America and look them up and try to reunite with his family and learn a little more about why he's having these horrific nightmares of himself being a killer. So he runs away. How did he get to the U.S., by the way? I don't remember that.
It doesn't show you. All it shows you is he gets away on a truck. And the next thing you see is one of those great map scenes where you have a big map and then you have a line going from one place to another place. So somehow, let's assume it was a plane. He goes from, or a boat, he goes from the UK all the way to Los Angeles. No idea how.
Twitch.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Which is another thing. Why would they go from the UK to Los Angeles? That's the other side.
Man, voodoo. That's the only explanation
Voodoo.
I have.
So, anyway, yes, they make this great big long travel. He finally gets there and is able to track them down miraculously quickly and easily, by the way, which I don't even know how he knows what studio or how he got there or anything like that. But voodoo.
Exactly. And of all the places, by the way, he opens himself up in a prop room with other effects. How did they know that's where he needed to go? Was there a label that said put me in the prop room, or to the prop room, or to the prop master, or whatever? Voodoo. All right, fair enough.
So that's what we should title this episode. Voodoo.
Voodoo.
All right, here's some more questions for you, because every single time I have watched this movie, this was the first time I think I've ever seen it from beginning to end, but I still have gaps. Okay. So, like,
let's see
for
if
example,
we can fill those gaps in.
I didn't remember how he got to the U.S., so that was one thing there.
That wasn't a gap. That's how it happened.
Well,
You think it's a
I had
gap,
no
but
I had no recollection of that. I must have
Oh.
blacked out during that time. So we're only about 3 minutes in, and I'm already blacking out.
fair enough.
There was quite a few scenes, and we'll discuss it as we go along. Like you mentioned, how did he know to go to the prop room? Now I've got another blackout period on how Chuck and Tiff came alive.
Good. I was waiting for you to bring this up. Here's a great explanation. You ready? Are you sitting down?
Voodoo.
There you go. That's the explanation. And in this case, it actually was accurate because he did a voodoo chant that he just so happened to figure out on the back of the voodoo talisman because of the word awake. Yep.
Wasn't
what we
that
call
the Dewey Decimal Dumbala
Yeah.
Dewey Decimal Dumbledore? Give me the power, I beg of you.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Which the other chant that actually works for the scene, by the way, it goes like this. You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Lazy writing. It goes just like that.
I love the Dewey Decimal Dumbledore. Give me the power, I beg of you. Hey, you changed your coffee cup.
I did because I finished the first cup.
What do you
I need
have,
to be
like
highly
5 cups lined up?
I need to be highly caffeinated at all times, and this is cup number 4 or 5 today. I miscount. I don't know. Keurigs are awesome. I love my Keurig, and this coffee cup, by the way, Deadly Grounds coffee. I got them picked up from a convention. They're actually really, really good. It's not the
Yeah,
coffee that's in
they
here.
sponsor a lot of horror podcasts, including, now get this, not us. So anyway,
Oh, well, Horror Apocalypse drinks Deadly Grounds coffee.
it's backwards.
Oh, that doesn't matter. It's the only- that's what I can do. I bought your damn cup. Leave me alone.
I am
I get
drinking
nothing for free.
water.
What's water?
Delicious. Anyway,
Tasteless.
all right. So voodoo, which by the way, let's talk about that. You mentioned this talisman. Is it just me, or did this talisman look so much cheaper than it has been? Like, especially at the end of the movie when it drops, it looks like it's a plastic toy.
It does look like it's a plastic toy. I mean, to be totally honest, I don't remember what it looked like in the other movies, so I couldn't say. I actually have zero opinion on it, other than the fact of it looked like a plastic toy. It literally looked like somebody had a piece of plastic and then took an engraver and wrote something awake in the back of it.
Yeah,
looked like that.
it reminded me a lot of like something I had just seen at Spirit this year. I mean, it didn't it didn't look like an ancient talisman. It looked like
I
a
think-
Hollywood prop.
I really think that you're giving them too much credit. Spirit has some really nice things. Just saying.
That could be. All right, so he brings them to life with this voodoo talisman, and then proceeds to tell them about how he's their child, and they're both kind of like, sure, what the fuck, and then he shows them the Made in Japan stamp on his arm, and suddenly, oh my god, he's our kid. I don't get this. He starts speaking to them in Japanese, like he expects them to know Japanese.
Chucky was the only doll ever made in Japan. That's why. It makes total sense. Only doll ever. Voodoo.
Okay. So we go through that. They have this family bonding moment, and they decide they're going to stop killing people. So, I
Well,
guess now
Tiffany
because
did-
they're parents.
Yeah, Tiffany decides they're going to stop killing people. Not Chucky, Tiffany. Because, voodoo.
And she tries. She tries very hard to not kill people.
She even calls an addict line.
Yeah. And Chuck doesn't go with that. As a matter of fact, he takes Glenn out on a murderous rampage.
Well, at least for to get the paparazzi guy. Which, okay, when we get to let me know when you want to get to that, because I have a thing to say about this.
Bro, I'm done. Just keep going.
Okay, fair enough. The paparazzi guy, John Waters. I will say this much: 2004, right? Not a whole lot of really good computer effects. I mean, the entire beginning of this movie, when you're following the sperm going through the fallopian tubes or whatever doll parts it was going through, the sperm looked like they were animated by Disney Studios. Like somebody physically drew them out and animated the whole scene. When you get to
Video toaster.
where the yeah, it kind of looked like that. But when you get to this scene where his face is melting from the acid, I was actually kind of impressed. I'm not gonna lie; it actually looked pretty good. It was almost like they spent their entire budget for this movie melting his face, because that actually looked pretty good. I thought that was pretty good.
That actually led me to another thing as well. Another blackout was I don't remember that kill. I mean, I see the picture later on.
Yeah,
I don't remember that kill.
It was one of the dumbest things in the world. It was Chucky hanging from the ceiling. He was going to drop on the guy and give him a few whacks, with the knife. But the kid comes out and scares the guy, and he falls backwards, hitting a rack, and that rack had acid on it, and it comes down, falling on his face, and melts his face. Which then Chucky immediately says, "Oh my God, my boy's a natural," even though the boy did it completely on accident, type of thing, trying to actually save the guy's life. He actually kills him. And that's when Chucky has the picture taken.
Okay.
Remembering it all? No?
No.
No? Okay. No. I tried.
Okay, so we continue on. Now, Jennifer Tilly is actually in this as Jennifer Tilly, a fictionalized version of Jennifer Tilly. Which, oh my God.
We assume. Yeah, I know.
Jennifer Tilly. Oh, Devil Bunny just joined, so
yeah,
I
was
need
going
to
to
be really
say
careful how I talk about Jennifer Tilly.
I was about to say I just saw that.
So yeah, Jennifer Tilly's in this. Redman is in this, and Redman actually plays a movie director who's creating a movie on the Virgin Mary. And Jennifer Tilly. Oh, they're saying they can't hear me. That's probably because I've got this plugged in. Oh, there we go. Maybe you guys can hear me now. Jennifer Tilly wants to star in this Redman version of the Virgin Mary.
Yep.
Which again is completely implausible. There's no there's no way. If you've ever seen Jennifer Tilly, and they actually make mention of the movie Bound that she did with Gina Gershon, and the scene, and we're great friends, and maybe we can bring her over sometime. And I hate Redman, but anyway,
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So, I can't see Redman being a director of a Christian movie about the Virgin Mary. I couldn't see Jennifer Tilly playing that, and I think that all plays part of into the comedy of this movie.
Yep.
So all this is going on, and she wants the part so bad that she's willing to sleep or do sexual favors with Redman for this. And that's when John Waters is outside snapping these pictures. In the meantime, Chucky is upstairs because him and Tiff have come to the conclusion that he's going to jerk off into a cup. Then they're going to artificially inseminate Jennifer Tilly with his seed of Chucky. This is another one of my blackout parts. Why was that plan put into place? What was the point of that plan? Because wasn't he supposed to take over Redman's body, and she was supposed to take over Jennifer's body, and that's how they were going to be human again?
Yeah, but they needed a baby for Glenn to go into.
Why couldn't they just do it at that point in time?
Voodoo?
Voodoo.
That's pretty much the answer to that. Voodoo. And speaking of Redman, by the way, whether or not you want to say his acting was great or not, I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad for what he had to do. The morning scene, which to me kind of made no sense, dinner scene, which kind of made no sense, where he's there just scarfing down food or whichever, while she's taking a phone call about something else. Why would he be back? That's what I couldn't figure out is why he came back. After them waking up in the morning and having a blackout, not knowing what happened, he comes back? I didn't get that.
What was he doing?
Just eating.
There you go.
He came back for food?
Wouldn't you be okay with sitting down at a table, giant bit of food in front of you, and Jennifer Tilly sitting there?
I'd be totally fine with that.
There you go.
But
no,
my point to this is where was the invite to this? Where was no setup to it? All of a sudden, it's just boom. Here's a scene.
Pretty decent butt, but no. Again, there you go. You said it. It's written on the back of that medallion. Lazy writing.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's accurate. It is accurate. Actually, come to think of it, what I bet you happened, and this is probably a huge editing gaffe or something like that they probably took that scene, and it was probably supposed to be at when they were first having drinks on the couch. I bet you it was supposed to be there, and then they changed it to give him his kill later. Is probably what happened. That's my thought, anyway.
To give Redman the kill?
Yeah, Redman's kill. Which, why in the hell was his intestines smoking? Don't tell me heat.
Voodoo.
I mean, I can understand for like a second. Maybe it was like, oh, his body's hot, and now it's cooler in the room. Okay, there's a little bit of steam. But that steam went on for like fucking 10 minutes or something. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
This movie was ridiculous.
Accurate.
Like,
you're like, actually, you see this? I'm throwing it.
The whole setup. If you're watching us on Instagram, you're getting to see this. The whole movie. There is actually one more after this that's in this box set, and I think there's
Curse or
another
Cult
one after that.
Is it Curse or Cult?
Curse of Chucky.
Okay.
And then Cult is later on.
Yeah.
I want to take that disc out of here and throw it away. There's no reason that should be in this set anymore.
I would agree with you. I would. By the way, where'd you get that set from? And it's only because I bought my nephew all the Chucky movies for, I think, his birthday last year, and my set looks completely different than that. Mine was yellow, and it had like a hologramish looking thing of Chucky.
Yeah, this one I bought. Well, this one says it's from Best Buy. I did not buy it.
I got mine off of Amazon.
I bought mine through the collectible group that I'm in.
Oh, okay, all right. I got mine off of Amazon for him, and box was completely different.
How many movies in his?
I want to say it went all the way up to Cult or Curse, whatever the
That
last
could be.
one was.
That could be the newest version.
I think it said 7. I think it said 7 movies in there or something like that.
Yeah, this one has 6.
It has 6? Okay. Well, JP, if you happen to come across this, let me know how many movies were in that box that I gave you.
So, yeah, continuing on. We kill Redman.
Yes.
I don't get why we needed to do the jerk off in a cup and inseminate Gina. Why do I keep calling her Gina? Inseminate Jennifer. And then Glenn seems to have a meltdown.
The twitch was kind of funny. Every time something bad happened, his left eye was just twitching. Every time that happened, I kind of chuckled. I was like, he's going to have a breakdown just watching that. Yeah. No, I see it. Are you going to put a wig on and become Michelle? Is that what's about to happen?
Michael and Michelle. But anyway. Isn't this so much better when we can actually see each other now?
It is. I'm just also glad we're both wearing clothes this time.
No. Anyway. So I'm still lost on why Chucky jerked off in a cup. I don't get that. But anyway.
Again, the whole reasoning was they needed the baby for Glenn because of voodoo. That's it.
Couldn't they just hold off and find a child later to transfer his spirit into? It just didn't make sense to me.
Apparently, there was no waiting.
So everything goes according to plan. Jennifer is pregnant. She wakes up the next morning, full bellied, ready to go, ready to pop. Oh, in the meantime, too, we've got this limo driver that's in love with her.
Yeah.
And Britney Spears gets killed.
Yep.
We have the assistant. I really liked her.
Yeah. Yeah. She had a very interesting death, too. And, wait a second. Come to think of blacking out, I don't remember who killed her.
That was Glenn as Glenda, who we think is Tiffany.
Right. Okay.
He comes out with the hairspray and sets her on fire. She falls over
falls down the stairs or found the balcony.
1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. The movie's over.
Nope, you can't do that to this one. You can't. I want to talk about the kids.
The Glenn and Glenda and what was the other kid's name?
Glenn. Okay, so we get to the end.
Glenda?
Yeah, uh-huh. Glenn and Glenda. So when we get to the end,
speaking of black and
white, right? Because of voodoo, she has twins. She has 2 ginger children, and we all know gingers have no soul to begin with. So, putting Glenn into the boy, totally fine. We get that, okay. And we find out that Jennifer Tilly is inside Jennifer Tilly. But then we still have the girl. Okay, so you then find out that, Tiffany's inside, Jennifer Tilly at the end. But when you see the little girl, it looks like Ronald McDonald had a child. What is with the red hair? Wendy, exactly. Like, what the fuck was with that hair? That was
a murderous Wendy.
Oh my God. That hair was horrible.
Mm-hmm. That whole thing. Those kids were ridiculous. I don't know why the Glenn keeps pissing himself every chance he gets.
He likes to be warm, is what it is. I mean, he enjoys the feeling, and sometimes
this movie sucked. and Bob, I still have to pick a movie for your podcast, and so help me God, now it's on. I was going to pick a good one, but now it's on.
No, fuck that. No good ones. No.
Oh my God.
No, no good ones.
Justin,
by the way,
Justin and Randy, I'm going to apologize to you guys now because you're going to have to be caught up in this flack that I'm going to have to get Bob back with. So let me apologize now. But go ahead, Chris. You were going to say?
Yeah, no. Before we started this, I went and I pulled our general stats that we normally get for these movies, and just want to go over them real quick, and we'll see how much of an agreement we have with the general public. So Google users give this movie, and have you looked, by the way? Have you seen any of these yet? Okay, good. We can play a game with it. What's the percentage you think Google users like this movie?
Anything above 34% is just, it's a lie.
Okay, 76% of Google users like this movie.
That's a lie.
IMDb.
Fuck you, Google users.
IMDb, what do you think the rating is on IMDb?
Anything above 18% is a lie.
4.8.
4.8?
4.8.
That's believable.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Anything above a 2 is a lie.
Okay, well then we're definitely lying because we got 33%. It's still low. It's definitely not a 2, but it's still low. This is the one that got me. That I stopped and went, wow. First of all, one of them watched it and then reviewed it. Roger Ebert. What do you think Roger Ebert gave this movie? Keep it in mind, it was 2004, so I bet you both of them were still alive then too.
This is no. I think Ebert or Siskel was a lot longer.
Siskel was dead. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was dead at the time. Well, this had John Waters for one. It's a mainstream horror, so he's okay with watching those. But I don't think he gave it very much. I'm going to say 2 Eberts.
2 Eberts? 2. Is that a 4, right? Is that right?
I don't know if he does 4 or 5, but I'm thinking only 2.
And the only reason why I say out of 4 is because you're right. It says 2 out of 4 Eberts. 2 out of 4. So, general, if we're going to sum this up, this movie comes up to roughly about 48%.
Fuck that! No, you're being generous.
Since we have a tendency to also give it our reviews here, so what kind of percentage are you giving this, or what kind of star level are you giving this?
Well, I forget what we. It's been so long since we've actually reviewed. Did we
I
do
know.
a 4 or a 5? I forget. I think
I
it's
thought
out
it
of
was
5.
out of
isn't it?
10. I thought it was out of 10.
No. I know we
You
won't
sure?
do an out of 10. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm almost
then
positive.
Okay, then I was out of 5. Well, in either case, we can start new for the new year. So whatever makes you happy, man. 5. Okay.
Let's see. If I give it a 2, that should equate to about 20%. I'm gonna say 1.
1.
And the only redeeming factor, there's 2 redeeming factors in this movie for me. The 2 reasons I give this a 1 and not a 0 are Jennifer Tilly, her left breast and her right breast. Those are the 2 reasons.
Those are great reasons, by the way.
I'm kidding. Jennifer Tilly as a whole is one of them. And I did enjoy some of the comedy in this. You know, watching Chucky self-abuse himself was kind of funny. The John Waters, his reaction to that was kind of funny. Watching Tiffany run into the room and pop up behind the couch and then pop back down, and he's, oh, God bless the little people, things like that. Those were some funny things in this. Everything else about this movie did not need to be made. As Devil Bunny says, Jennifer Jiggly.
Jennifer Jiggly.
That's our producer, everyone.
I'm actually going to agree with you on a 1, but I have for a completely different reason. I will Jennifer Tilly, obviously, or Jennifer Jiggly, obviously, you know. But mine was for the Jack Nicholson impression towards the end of the movie where he's doing, oh God, the Here's Johnny scene. He's smashing through the.
I can't think of a thing to say.
The door. Yeah, smashing through the door with the axe. You're waiting for it. I can't think of a thing to say. I laughed out loud. That's to me that was I was like, okay, this whole movie was worth that. That was pretty much it. But ultimately, yeah, 1.
That fight scene. What the fuck was with that fight scene?
Which one?
The final fight scene between Glenn and Chucky.
Oh, right. Okay.
The martial arts fight scene.
Well, obviously he studied Japanese culture, so he probably picked up some kung fu or something, you know, and he probably watched a lot of anime. I mean, Dragon Ball Z was really popular back in the day. Maybe it was some Dragon Ball Z. Mortal Kombat was really popular. Maybe it was Mortal Kombat, or maybe it was just voodoo.
Ooh, I got lightheaded shaking my head. No. No. No, really, wow. Hold on.
Well, this will be the final episode of the new year. Michael has passed away.
Oh, my God.
Hey, great news. Great news. The state of Massachusetts has accepted my tax return. So I'm told. They needed to text me about it right now and tell me. I did my taxes yesterday. Don't stare at me like that. You're just going to keep on staring at me like that, aren't you? Hey, I can't control my text messages. I can't. Sorry.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say it looks like you've locked up, but never mind. I guess I wasn't standing too still. No. All right, so we're both in agreement. We're going to give this a 1. I am going to look into, by the way, how to create a nice little document for us so we can keep track of all the movies we've done, what we've rated them, and so on. I think
Fair
1
enough.
is probably one of the lowest ones we've done.
Ever.
I think there was one I gave a 0 to.
I don't remember a 0. I think that would stick in my head. What do you think you gave a 0 to?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
But anyway, we'll find something. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much our discussion. We really didn't review it too much. That was pretty much our discussion on Seed of Chucky. Thanks again, Bob. Chris and I are going to put our heads together and pick one out for you.
But now, to be fair, I don't think we have any more Patreon picks.
We do not. That's why I get to pick the next one.
All right, fair enough.
You want to know what the next one is?
I am waiting with bated breath.
Do you want me to get the
That
Blu-ray
means.
and show you, or you just want me to just say it?
Which has the most impact?
I think I'm going to show you.
Okay, all right.
It's going
Do
to
you
take me
need
a
a drum
minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. So I says to Mabel, this entire time that I've been talking, has anybody actually heard me? No one has made a comment on whether or not they can hear me or not. Because I had the
They
same
must have,
exact thing.
because they commented that they couldn't hear me, so they must have been able to hear you.
I'm assuming that they could hear me, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, you ready?
Shoot. It's backwards.
So read it backwards.
I canaraya. I canaraya? No, nothing. Nothing. Now it's moving.
Scanners.
Scanners. Oh, scanners. Wow, I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, last couple of days I've been thinking a lot about the movie, and then I made a comment today. Hey, our thing ended.
Hey, what happened?
I think we reached our limit.
There's a limit?
Okay, well, we're sharing it to the story, but yeah, we there's a limit on these. But anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the movie. Made a couple of comments today, and I was able to use that head explosion scene, and I was like, you know what, I really want to see that again. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. If you have any input on what you would like us to pick for Straight Chillin' Podcast to review as torture, please send it along. We'll mull it over and see what we can send to them. We have plenty of time, from what I understand. So, but guys, thanks so much for listening. We're so happy to be back this new year. We're happy to be back on schedule. If there's any kind of segments or anything like that you'd like us to talk about, or you have ideas for things that you would like for us to do, send them along. You can reach us at horrorpocalypse@gmail.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail at 323-5-HORROR, HORROR. We'd love to hear from you guys, put you out there, put you on the spot. Don't forget to join us over on patreon.com as well, and for as little as $1 a month you can support us. You can also pick a movie for us to watch at $6 donation. You can pick any movie for us to review. Torture us, give us pleasure, giggity, whatever you want. So, guys, thanks again for listening. Chris, any final words?
No, I'm good.
Nothing about a burrito?
No, nothing about a burrito, nothing about a lamp. I'm going to figure something else out this year.
All right. Anyway, guys, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
I'm Chucky. Hi. 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 I'm Chucky. Hi. 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 I'm Chucky.
Charles Ray, a killer who snarls hate, a murderer always. I'm lurking your hallways. I'll hide in a small space. You're thinking that y'all safe, then you open up a drawer and see death in a doll's face. 187 is flashing, attacking, rapid, and bashing a jagged glass in the back of your leather jacket. The soul that is mine, I'll have it. Just shoot me, then move to acid. But nothing will stop me, maggot, from taking your body, damn it. I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. And I'm coming back, you can never bury me. And I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see? I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. And I'm coming back, you can never bury me. And I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see? And I'm slaying these bitches, rolling with Tiffany. And after that, I'm breaking your bed in until it's rickety. Everybody's laughing and thinking that my abilities are limited. Diminutive size is hurting efficiency. But it isn't further from the truth. I hide in plain sight. Things I couldn't do if you and me were the same height. Now you're thinking Michael and Jason are so amazing, while I've already invaded your home parade in the same night. I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. And I'm coming back, you can never bury me. And I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see? I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. and I'm coming back. You can never bury me, and I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see? Ooh, what you gonna do when the good guy doll is coming for you? Ooh, you don't understand when you're friends with the good guy, it is to the end of. Ooh, what you gonna do when the good guy doll is coming for you? Ooh, you don't understand when you're friends with the good guy, it is to the end. I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. And I'm coming back, you can never bury me. And I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see? I'm a killer doll, only live to kill. And I'm over Andy, but the hunt, I love it still. And I'm coming back, you can never bury me. And I'm killing everyone who's doubting that I'm scary, see?